Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. It is a wild afternoon as I'm doing this late afternoon, early evening. We're having a crazy winter storm, late winter storm. It's already knocked out our power supply, probably be out for days. Luckily I have solar power, so I can limp along. But every now and then the wind howls around the house, so if you hear strange sound effects in the background, that is what's going on. All pretty intense at the moment, and the energy sure is intense. I can see it in people around me, I can see it in myself, possibly even in the royal family. Some threads are snapping, perhaps threads snapping with regards to Prince Harry and his place in the line of succession. That's what we're looking at today. I know that the paperback is being published, and I know there's all kinds of weird things going on with Harry and Meghan, and all kinds of weird speculation around certain situations. But today our focus here, as the wind howls again around the house, is moves that are apparently afoot to remove Prince Harry and his children from the line of succession. And for the purposes of our readings today, I have the new Palladini Tarot on the tarot table. It's a good old-fashioned tarot deck, and it reads very nicely when you're reading from the perspective of the royal family in terms of status and privileges and honors and titles and things like that. So the story goes, and it's coming from YouTubers, it's coming from the press as well. The story goes that the royals are in discussions with lawyers, constitutional experts, government members about amending the Regency Act and putting in a new clause to the effect that anyone who is not permanently resident in the United Kingdom is not qualified or eligible to be in the line of succession, which would take out Harry, and it would also take out Archie and Lilibet very conveniently without having to dig into their provenance, so to speak, and all the issues around that. So it would kill three birds with one stone, really metaphorically speaking. And so this is apparently what is under discussion, and it apparently ties into gossip we have been hearing about Prince William's coronation and who will be there and who won't be there and such things. I'm going to do a Celtic cross to start off with, looking at this situation from the royal family's point of view. I want to know what's going on. I want to know why now are they doing this. I want to know who's the main motivator for this. Three of Swords comes out. I want to know how they view Prince Harry right now, and what is ultimately going to happen. It, as I say, would involve government legislation, so it's not something that Charles would be accountable for, basically. So it may be an easier thing for him to get behind than just to sort of off with his head, kind of a decree coming straight directly from the king himself. So we're going to look at that. We're going to do a Celtic cross from that point of view first of all, and then I'm going to, in my next reading, look at Harry and how Harry might be feeling about this, and is that why there's some scramble on Harry's part to come back to the UK, find a house in the UK, do all of those things so that he can kind of preempt all of this. I think I need to shuffle one more time and to settle into the energy. As I say, yeah, there we go. The tarot deck has now collapsed on me. Pretty volatile here. And let's get into it. Let's remind you, it's tarot for fun and entertainment. It's all my opinion. It's all speculation. I just read energy here, and there is a disclaimer in the box below, and hopefully the light will hold through this reading. We don't get plunged into darkness during the course of it. So there we go. There's our Celtic cross, royal family's point of view. What's going on and why now? We've got the Eight of Cups in reverse, a very sorrowful situation that there is no way out of. I think they would all like to put an end to this situation. The problem, of course, is if Harry is removed from the line of succession and his children, that bumps Prince Andrew right back up the line, and is not necessarily an outcome that the royals might want, or the government might want, or anything like that. But one thing I will say for Prince Andrew is that he hasn't written a book denouncing the monarchy. He has been loyal to the monarchy, whatever else he has done in his personal life. So, Eight of Cups in reverse, our underlying energy. Very sorrowful and difficult times for the royal family. Of course, the King's health, the Princess of Wales's health, sorrow over what has happened with Harry and Meghan and how that has all ended. And it has, as far as I can tell, ended and very painfully. So there we have it, underlying energy. Very tough times for them, very challenging times emotionally, upsetting times. So situation that they are in right now with Harry. You've got the Queen of Cups, and it is an emotional energy. It always brings Diana back to the fore when you see the Queen of Cups in these royal readings, that she is somehow at the heart of this. The failure of the marriage with Charles and Diana, the way the boys were raised, what happened when she passed, Harry's endless begrudgment, all of that difficulty that of course has been encouraged by Meghan, as far as I can tell, shall we say allegedly, but she's somehow at the heart of this. And maybe she really is at the heart of this situation more than we might understand who are looking in at this situation from the outside. So what is the problem? What is the challenge that they're facing with Harry? And we've got the Fool, and it is in reverse. And that pretty much sums up Harry's energy for me as an energy reader. Somebody who's reckless, somebody who thought that they were going to set off on a brave new adventure in America or wherever he thought he was going. I don't think he necessarily thought he was going to land up in California, in Hollywood, all of that. I think he thought he was going to probably land up in Botswana, doing quite different things. But this is where he's ended up. He has been foolish. The Fool in reverse is foolish. Has done things that are chaotic, stupid, risky. That's the energy of the Fool card in reverse. But it is also somebody who went off on that new adventure, somebody who is not going to get another look in. They're not going to get a fresh start in the royal family. There is no way that that is going to happen. And that card is telling me that. So it's a big card. It's a big card crossing that Queen of Cups, that her child, her offspring, the Fool, shall we say. The Fool who is now starting a university with Better Up. That Fool is not coming back in. Went off to seek his fortune and let him stay where he is. That's the energy that's coming off that little collection of cards for me. What's at the root of this rumoured plan to eliminate Harry from the line of succession, and using the convenient excuse of the fact that he is no longer resident in the UK? Why now? What's going on? King of Pentacles, that is Harry. And it's not the energy that I thought would come through. It's King of Pentacles. It's Harry trying to supplant the royal family, trying to out-royal the royals. And we've seen it. We saw it in Nigeria. We've seen it in Colombia. He seems to be willing to go along with this plan. I think it's Meghan's plan, personally. That's my speculation. But he seems a willing accomplice in this. And you can hear the rain lashing down as I'm shouting over it. He seems to be quite intent on establishing his own rival monarchy. However much he might loathe his spouse at this point, and we've seen the moments of absolute loathing in some giveaway moments in Colombia in particular. There were some brief moments in Nigeria, but Colombia, it was pretty intense. Doesn't matter. He wants to be the King of Pentacles. He wants to be king of the world. He wants to be king of the Commonwealth, king of the United States. Still the ego, still the entitlement, still the one that thinks he is part of the establishment somehow. He wants back in, but he wants back in that half in, half out way that they were told emphatically, no, it's not going to work. You can't sell your titles. You can't sell yourself as a prince of the realm, establishing a university for life coaches in California. It doesn't really work. So I'm getting quite irate as I say that, because I'm feeling how the royals are feeling. I'm in their energy as I'm doing this reading. Who is the main motivator, the one whose goal this is really to get rid of Harry from the line of succession? Who is it? Or it's not a who, it's a what is it? It's the Five of Rods in reverse. They're tired of this conflict in the royal family. Upright Five of Rods is competition, trying to outdo people, timing things for maximum impact to try and overshadow, and it's happening with the paperback, the release of Spare in paperback form being released to overshadow the King's trip to Samoa for their Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa that the King is desperate to attend. It's that kind of thing that they want to stop. So it's not a who so much as a why. Tired of it. It looks terrible that the royal family is involved in these constant brawls of trying to outdo. They're not trying to outdo anyone, but the Harry is trying to outdo them. Constantly sparring, sniping, having a go at them, and they need to stop it, because that's not what the royal families do. They're supposed to do better. They're supposed to be role models. They're supposed to be elevated. In the history of royal families, you could say that doesn't really happen, but we're now, and we're here in what the brand is supposed to signify now. And now it's supposed to be a template for us and to encourage us to do better ourselves. That's pretty much, at this point, the only reason why we still have royals, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion. So, what's been happening in the past that has led to this alleged moment where they want this Fool out? And because the Fool is in reverse and the Eight of Cups is sitting there like that, also in reverse, I think there is some truth to this rumor. What's been going on in the past that's led to this decision? And we got the Six of Pentacles. It's a card of trying to balance things out and divide things up in a fair way. It does, in a way, represent half in, half out. For me, I've never thought of that card in that way before. But at some level, it signifies it. We've got the two brothers. And it's interesting that brothers are a theme at the moment. We've got the brothers from Oasis who have feuded for years. And it's headline news, at least in the UK. It might not be headline news where some of you are watching. But they have reconciled, and they're going to make gazillions out of a kind of a farewell or a reunion tour, but also a farewell tour. And we've got two brothers in the royal family, and the two brothers in the royal family were brought up together, and the one might have assumed that he was going to share. The Spare thought he was going to share, and he wasn't going to share. And so I think that is what that Six of Pentacles is telling us. This reading is taking me way back into the past. I didn't expect to be going way back into the past, but I am going way back into the past because of our Queen of Cups at the heart of this reading. The way she raised those two boys is at the root of this problem. That Harry, who's showing up as the King of Pentacles, has a sense of entitlement that is never going to go away. No matter what happens, that is ingrained in him now. He's 40 in a couple of weeks. He's not going to suddenly change his mind and think, oh, well, I'm insignificant, I'm just nobody, and I'll quietly go and crawl under a rock and not bother anyone ever again. That's not going to happen. And it's not going to happen because of the Queen of Cups and because of that Six of Pentacles energy, which is sharing in its true form, sharing in the sense of charity, typically in tarot, but equal give and take, reciprocity, portioning things equally. So what is going to happen next? Is there going to be a law that goes before Parliament? Is this quietly going to disappear? Is Harry going to have a huge freak out? What's going to happen next? We've got the Three of Cups. There is a birthday party coming up. Three of Cups is parties, celebrating, things like that. This might get buried under news of parties and celebrating, and a bit like those two warring brothers in Oasis. There might be some strange news that we don't expect. it's an outlier energy. I think William wants this dealt with. I think William wants to get rid of Harry. That's my personal opinion. But there is something in here that he might just weasel his way back, and in the excuse of, oh, it's my birthday and I'm coming back, and something like that. So it's quite odd and unexpected energy here with the Three of Cups, that this might disappear again. For a while. I don't think in the near term, put it this way, I don't think in the near term we're going to see any results. This sounds like something that's going on behind the scenes anyway. It's kind of getting lined up to be dealt with. I think that our focus is going to be deflected to birthday or similar events, and see I'm so popular, and see people have actually attended my birthday, or I'm back in the UK for my birthday, or whatever, something like that going on. And I am going to read on Harry's response to this, a very short little follow-up reading after this one. I'm seeing it in here. I'm seeing it's almost like a sneaky maneuver with that Three of Cups. So I don't get anything big happening in the near term anyway. How do the royals feel about Harry right now in this context of getting rid of him from the line of succession? I got the World. They want the story ended. It's there in this Five of Rods in reverse. It's here very powerfully now with the World. It's done. It's finished. We can sort of tie a bow on it and say, there it is. Thank you. Finished. It's completion energy, the World, very publicly completed. So they want to do this because they want people to know we have dealt with this problem in our family, this person who keeps undermining our family and saying stupid things and looking stupid and causing difficulty for us. This is my speculation, of course. Finished, done, dealt with, the end, let's move on. That's the energy, and you're overseas. And the king did, of course, on the very day that the late queen passed away and he became king of the realm, wish Harry and Meghan well in their new lives overseas. And there it is. You stay over there. We don't want you back here. But what pressure are they under? What pressure might they be under? From this, we've got the Nine of Rods in the reverse, and this is, I think this is the king's energy of just exhaustion. The Nine of Rods is somebody who's embattled, bruised, wounded, struggling to sustain his energy. And it's in reverse. It's somebody who's really, and I don't like to say this, but it's somebody who's very vulnerable, who might really be running out of steam, of vitality, of energy, might just not be able to endure through this process even. That this might be too difficult for him for whatever reason. And I'm also getting the sense that even traveling at this point might be too difficult for him, which will give the Parkles a tremendous opportunity to go and do their 4 roilings and more. Apparently they have 12 tours lined up. I can't remember the source of that. Might have been Neil Sean, I don't know. But so that's the problem. The problem more than just for the monarch himself, it's the world looking at them and thinking, you're really vulnerable. You're really weak at the moment. If you can allow this to happen to you, this brat, this drug addict in California, to snipe at you and you don't do anything, and there's all the shadiness around them that is never resolved, shadiness around Archwell, shadiness around the children, shadiness around all kinds of things. It makes them look very weak indeed. Lame duck, not a lame duck president, but a lame duck king. And that's of course all me and my opinion. Hopes and fears for the royals. And we got the Four of Swords. It's a tremendous worry. This energy is going to translate into a more serious illness, more serious health crisis. Again, I don't like to say this, but it's almost like a running out of time energy, the Four of Swords. It's retreat, it's illness, it's needing to go away and heal, or worse. And so they're worried about the timing of this and how it's going to actually, if it's even going to happen. That's what I'm getting. I apologize to people who find this upsetting or distasteful. This is just the energy that is coming through for me as a reader, and I think it's a self-explanatory card. I don't really need to go into graphic detail with it. And so we move to the outcome. Is this going to happen in this current scenario with the king, with Prince William, with the current government? Is this something that is going to happen? Are they going to manage to push this through and get Harry out of the line of succession or not? I've got the Seven of Cups in reverse. It's possible with this energy because it's a certain level of potential that is shut down. That somebody who's delulu and thinks that everything is possible, and he's head in the clouds, and he's not at all grounded and not at all realistic about his life, might have to face some consequences, face the reality of a situation where those possibilities are shut down. So I am getting that it is possible. That the cold hard reality might land for Harry with that card. But it also has a lesser energy in it that tells me that the royals themselves might run out of road with this, that it's possible now. They're looking at possibilities. How are we going to handle this? What are we going to do? And at some stage that might run out. But I think it's more Harry, that Harry is going to run out of road. I think Harry is going to try and make a comeback with that Three of Cups, because he's got his excuse of a birthday, 40th, coming up. So I think we are going to see him. I think it's going to be never-ending Harry in the next few months. But it does look as if he might just wake up one day to find that he is no longer in the line of succession, and nor are his children, and in which case he won't hopefully be on that royal website. But this is difficult energy. This really is difficult energy, and the difficulty that's coming through for me really is the king and the king's health, possibly the king's willingness to go through with this. It always shows up in these readings, always. So there it is, for what it's worth. Thanks for watching. We're going to look at Harry and his feelings in the next reading.